I'm now going to make a video for the review for the final exam, chapters 1 through 3, page 5. These are all graphing problems. Number 29, is in the form y is equal to mx plus b. Remember, in this one, we have y is equal to 1/2 x plus 2. Remember, this is your y-intercept. That's where it crosses the y-axis on the graph. This is your slope. Your slope is your rise over your run. I like to think of B as my beginning point to remind you that's where you always start. When you graph it, you go to the 2. Your slope is 1/2. Rise up 1. Run over 2. So up 1 over 2, 1, 2. Draw your lines. You only need 2 points for a line, and you have your graph there. The next one, number 30, is a system of a linear inequality. Y is greater than negative x plus 1. I'm going to try to color code it for you, see if that works out. Negative 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to negative 6. On the next page, I'm going to graph the orange one first. Looking back, we see that our y-intercept is 1. So with orange, I'm going to go to the 1. My slope is negative 1. So I'm going to rise up 1 to the left 1 because it's negative. I always instruct my kids to always rise and then go to the right if it's positive, go to the left if it's negative. I'm going to draw a dotted line, and I'm going to draw a dotted line because it's greater than and not greater than or equal to. If it's greater than or equal to, then you do a solid line. My green equation is in standard form. As a result, I'm going to graph it using a table. I'm going to put 0 and 0. I'm finding the x-intercepts and the y-intercept. When y is equal to 0, this whole term right here that I circled goes away because 3 times 0 is 0. So that leaves us with negative 2x is equal to negative 6. When you solve for x there, you get a positive 3. That's your x-intercept. When x is equal to 0, that this whole term goes away in red. That leaves us with 3y is equal to negative 6, which would mean y is equal to negative 2. I'm now going to go graph those points on my line. 3, 0, 1, 2, 3. And then the other one was 0, negative 2. 1, 2. And then I'm going to draw a solid line now. Again, why am I drawing a solid line? I'm drawing a solid line because it's greater than or equal to. The next part of it is the test. I'm first going to test my orange line. I'm going to use the test point 0, 0, and I always like star it just so it's a good visual for me. I'm going to plug in 0 is greater than negative 0 plus 1. Where did I get that? I just took my equation, y is greater than negative x plus 1, and I plugged in a 0 for y and a 0 for x. If I simplify it, 0 is greater than 1. That is a false statement. When it's a false statement, I shade away from my test point. So here's my border, my dotted line here. I want to shade away from it on the other side of the border. Okay? When it's true, we shade towards on the same side as the border. I'm going to now test my green line. When I test that one, I have negative 2 times 0 plus 3 times 0. That's a 0. Has to be greater than or equal to negative 6. I get 0 plus 0 is greater than or equal to negative 6. 0 is greater than or equal to negative 6. This is a true statement. Again, where did I get those numbers? Well, 0, 0 is my test point. 0, 0 is my test point, and my function is negative 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to negative 6. So I plugged my zeros in the variables there. We said that was a true statement. Again, that means then when it's true, we shade on the same side as the border. Here's my border line again. I'm going to shade on the same side as the test point because we said true. Now your job is to say, okay, now where does it intersect? I'm going to highlight it with a different color. It intersects all in this area here. This yellow area, you see green and orange. Any point in this region would be a solution to your equation on number 30. Number 31. Y is equal to 3. That is going to be a horizontal line. And you can just go there and plot it. Some classes do a table. In our class, we've just done it like that. Number 32, I'm not going to do. It's very similar to number 30. However, it's just one equation. Number 33, you want to solve for y. So 3y is equal to negative 2x plus 12. Just remember when you divide by 3 here, on the one side, you have to divide on the other side, both places. Okay? I'm not going to finish number 33 because it's just like number 29 now. And then 34 is very similar to the standard form piece. I believe that was the green equation in number 30. Again, refer to the green equation in number 30 for help on that one. It's just a single one there. It's not a system. I'm now done with page 5 on the review for the final exam, chapters 1 through 3.